Hi there. This is the first episode in my cold email crash course. For some context, my name is James, and I run with my business partner a cold email lead generation agency for B2B businesses. And so I'm going to do a 9 or 10 part series where I break down our process that you can copy and how we run campaigns that generate lots of leads for our clients. And so in the first episode today, we're going over infrastructure and setup. This is the basic stuff, but I'll go over it part by part, and hopefully you can learn something. So we want to start off by working out how many boxes and how many domains we need to buy. And the way we do this is by first working out our TAM, so our total addressable market. From there, we can work out our volume, and then we can reverse engineer it to work out the number of emails we need to get. So we start off with the TAM, and these are verified email addresses that we can actually contact, which is only going to be a small portion of the actual available businesses. On average, we want to contact our TAM every 2 months. So anyone who responds to any of our emails, they're taken off the list. Anyone who doesn't respond, which is a majority, they can be recontacted again in 2 months' time. You could do longer the better, really, but 2 months is probably the I wouldn't go any less than that. And so what you want to do is take your TAM, divide it by 2, and that's your sort of monthly volume of contacts. Divide that by 21 for your daily volume of contacts, and then times that by the number of emails in your sequence for the total daily send volume, including follow-ups. And so if you haven't ran your leads first, so you don't know how many verified contacts you're going to have, and you want to estimate it, you can use Clay, Apollo, D7, really any appropriate lead source for your target market. If it's local businesses, D7 is going to be better. If it's more sort of general B2B stuff, Apollo is probably pretty good. Clay's great. It's got some built-in features. And usually between 40 and 60% of the emails we get are valid. And so obviously we're only contacting the valid ones. And so you can run these numbers to work out a rough estimate for the size of your TAM, your actual contactable TAM. And then when it comes to domains and inboxes, so we use ScaleMail for all of ours. This video, we're not affiliated with them, although we do have an affiliate link. But it's not a paid partnership. We use them a ton. We have done for quite a while now. It's all done for you. It's great quality, and it's about as cheap as it gets as well. So it makes it very easy for us. So these are the recommended volumes, a number of emails, inboxes to a domain that they recommend. So Outlook is 25 inboxes for every domain, which is definitely quite out of the ordinary. But this is the way they set it up, and it's a low volume per inbox. And so 25 inboxes for every domain, with a max sending volume, including follow-ups of 5 to 10 emails per day per address. Google is 2 inboxes for every domain, with a max sending volume of 15 to 20. SMTP is 4, with a max sending volume of 10. And so you want to use these numbers with your total daily volume that we got above here, to basically work out how many domains and emails you need to buy. And you can sort of run those numbers and reverse engineer it. And so in terms of which inboxes that you should get, it really depends on 3 core things. One is cost, one is security, and the other is which inboxes are most commonly used by your target market. And so cost-wise, obviously some inboxes are more expensive than others. Google's are probably the most expensive, but they tend to get better results and they tend to last longer as well. And so, if you are temporarily constrained by budget, maybe you want to go with a cheaper option, more SMTP, maybe a bit more Outlook. And then when you can afford to, you can diversify. The second thing is security. And so in the last 18 months, we've had 2 major incidents, one that really impacted Outlooks and one that really impacted Google. And so if you are very heavily in just one, you're very vulnerable. If something happens, you could lose all your infrastructure overnight. And so my advice is always to diversify between the 3 options. So Google, Outlook, SMTP. The more diversified you are, the safer you are from something like that happening. And the third thing, obviously, is your target market. And so generally, I would go for quite an even split. But in some cases, for example, enterprise, if you're targeting enterprise companies, they tend to be very heavily on Outlook. And so it tends to be on average that, Google inboxes will inbox better with other Google inboxes, Outlook better with other Outlooks. And so, if you're targeting enterprise or a target market that is very heavily Outlook, you probably want more Outlooks in your split. So maybe like 60% Outlooks, 30% Google's, 10% SMTP or whatever it is. And so domain configuration, all of this is done for you with Scaled Mail. It's a done for you setup, which makes it a hell of a lot easier for us. But these are what their recommendations are. And so as you can see here, 10 to 16 per day with a ramp up of 2 per day at a really high reply rate of 65 to 75%. This is for Outlook. Google, same ramp up, same reply rate, but warm up volume of 30 to 35 per day. And SMTP, again, same here, but a volume of 20 per day. On our average, as you can see here, Outlook is more of like a 1-to-1 ratio of warm-ups to cold, whereas Google and SMTP are more of like a 2-to-1, so 2 warm-ups for every 1 cold. And so obviously make sure your DNS settings are set up correctly. Again, Scaled Mail will do this for you, but DMARC, SPF, and DKIM have got to be done. Make sure you're doing your URL redirects as well. This means that basically anyone who copy and paste your domain that you're sending from in Google, it will automatically take them to your primary domain, so your website. You don't want them to go into an error page or a blank page. You want them to go into your landing page, and they might convert there as well. And so, yeah, this is pretty much the basics of the setup. Like I say, we run through Scaled Mail. That makes it very easy for us. And they're about as cheap as you'll get as well. If you're running alternatives, I'd always see what they recommend, those platforms. There are other alternative platforms out there. And yeah, but I think as a general rule of thumb, 2-to-1 warm-ups to cold, decently high reply rate on your warm-ups. In terms of how long to warm your inboxes up for, 14 days is the minimum, but the more the better. A lot of times we'll try and aim for 21 days unless we're really constrained by time. And the longer you run them, the safer that they will be. And so, yeah, this is the first episode. And so hopefully you guys may have gained something from this, and follow along on YouTube or on LinkedIn for the next episode in the series. Thank you. All right, one other thing. At the end of this series, I will be giving this entire doc away. And so obviously you can see it here episode by episode. But at the end of the series, I'll give the whole thing away when it's completely filled out after every episode. So keep following along, get the episodes, and then you'll be able to get the doc at the end.